Hello, hi, greetings. It's the Disclosure Artist. I haven't seen you guys in a couple months, but I wanted to speak about some of my recent observations regarding Disney truth bombs. Obviously, we know Hollywood, entertainment, the CIA, intelligence community connection, but a lot of people aren't willing to take the analysis of some of this information, this occulted information, to the level that others are. And I think that on the level of synchronicity that I operate on, then the reason why I make videos is because that connection becomes so synchronistically obvious to me that I just make the connection. I'll be exposed to one bit of information one day, and the very next day another bit of information that will immediately pertain to what it is I'm talking about. In this case, I was watching Mathias Stefanos' program Initiation on Gaia Network the day before I saw Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon, and I think that there is a strong connection with our lost history. For example, in the Disney film, they basically they don't really say when it takes place, but they say that in the distant past of the current timeline of the story, meaning 500 years in the past, in the film, in the land of Kumandra, which just happens to be shaped like a dragon, when humans lived alongside dragons, or the Draco, or reptilians, or whatever you want to call them. And they basically were prospering. They learned a lot of sacred magical information, until what are known as the Druns come, and they cause a conflict. And the dragons are, at this point, turned to stone, or they go away. And people fought to possess the last remnants of the dragon magic, and the land was divided into different borders, and they drew up the lands. So basically, the tail was the desert, where the desert folks resided. The talon part of the snake, or of the dragon, was where the floating markets were. Then there was the town of Spine, which is where the bamboo forests were. And then there was, last but not least, the Fang, or what I take to be the head. This is where their fiercest enemies were. What I was able to come across just literally the night before was that not 500 years, but 500,000 years ago from our current time, what he refers to as the Saphir arrived in the Middle East. These were reptilian entities. They came to the hottest regions with adaptive abilities, which is why they went to Africa, Central America, Australia, southeast of Asia, and they were looking for beings who understood the information of the snakes. And they chose women to be the first alchemists, whereby they created the first priestesses and taught them how to transform reality with the information of the universe from plants and seeds, and essentially made the first shamans. So this is what he's talking about. And if you think back to the Disney movie, I mean, it's female driven, and they're definitely doing a good amount of magic in that movie. At which point he was mentioning, back to the history, he says that the women then taught the men, and then the men from that point on ruled the world. The earliest symbols for history of humanity were serpentine, because he's stating that they literally saw the Saphir, or the reptilians, coming down from the sky to the earth like gods. And the earth itself actually has a snake formation that wraps around the entire world. It's connected at the highest mountain and is the Kundalini of the planet. And much like I was describing the fictional Disney Kumandra serpentine map, I'm now going to describe what Mathias Stefano refers to as The head being in Anatolia, Turkey, and this was where the eye was. The pineal gland was near Ararat Mountain on the border of Armenia, and this is where the information of the Caucasus and the soul was transferred. And he mentions the heart of the snake being in Persia, and at the time this is, or now it is currently, Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan region. The solar plexus of the snake, Karakoram, which is now Tibet, near the Taklaman Desert. So again, there's a lot of crossover with regard to the body parts of the serpent and the different geographical locations of our distant past. The information at that point moved down to Siberia, near the Baikal Lake, in the region of Chikolka, and the women were then taught the sacrum chakra. Continuing down where the root chakra was, then traveled to the North America and Alaska regions, and are part of the Kundalini travels from Alaska through the Rocky Mountains, through Central America, and ends in the Andes in Terra del Fuego in southern Argentina and Chile. So if you want to verify some of this information, you can check out the Seeding Humanity episode. I just think it's really interesting that they're now sharing this perhaps forgotten sacred information at the same time that they're kind of just sprinkling it on as entertainment for children in the disguise of dilly-dally, willy-nilly, but it could be literally exactly where we came from. Just some food for thought. All right, take care, guys.